Dear students, welcome to the class. Today, let's take up Class 10 Literature. The topic is The Charge of the Light Brigade. It is a poem written by Alfred Tennyson. So before we go to the poem, let us know something about the writer, about the poet. Alfred Tennyson, popularly known as Lord Alfred Tennyson. He was born in born in England, and he was the most popular British poet. Mahak asi yamna British ki khwaidagi aphawa poet amani. Mahak asi 6th August 1809 da poki. Aduga mahakna 6th October 1892 da laikindre. And the British government has sent him to Africa. Mahakasi Africa da British na tharami mahakna matam aduda British na mangkoi na colony santoropagi timing adudani. And colony santoropagi saruk amo oina mahakna Africa da chalami. Africa gi Timbuktu kobot lamdam adu. Timbuktu kobot lamdam adu da mahakna chalami. Aduga he had written a poem, a book on Timbuktu. Timbuktu is the name of the place in Africa and now become the capital of Mali. Here, the charge of the Light Brigade. The charge means the attack of the Light Brigade. Light Brigade means it is a group of soldiers, a unit of soldiers, a company of soldiers. Mahakasi charge haibani attack haibani Light Brigade haibasina company army ki company amagi maming ni British government ki British soldiers, group of soldiers or a unit of British soldiers, Light Brigade, Kobo Mamings. Adeda 25th October 1854 da lanpham amakak sonaki. Lanpham si kanakano haibada kanakana songi Russia ga adigi British singa Russia ga lan sonaki. Ado Crimean War gi manung channa. Crimean War gi manung channa Battle of Balaclava haiba lanpham asida British soldiers singa adigi Russia gi soldiers singa lan thengnaki. War hairgana lan matam kuina soknaba lanpham adubuni war kawi aduga nomagi oina lanpham amada soknabaduna battle kawi. Aduna under the Crimean War, the Battle of Balaclava was fought between the Russian soldiers and the British Light Brigade. Lord Alfred Tennyson wanted to immortalize the valor, means the courage, the bravery of the Light Brigade, and so he had written this poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade. Light Brigade koba, The Charge of the Light Brigade koba saireng asi Alfred Tennyson na British ki lanmi singi mathauna sing adubu loma naidana tungda lakadaba miro na ningsing na honabagi damakta masigi saireng asi mahangna irami. Now let's go to the point. Half a league. League haibagi artadi a distance of 3 miles. League haibadi mile ahumgi asangba adubu league kawi. Ado half a league haibadi mile ahumgi tangkai adubu kari kaure haibada 1.5 miles. 1.5 miles. Half a league onward. British ki lanmi sing aduna manglomda league amaga makai habi league ama makai half a league habagi artadi league tugi tangkai ama se moi lanpham lom changchen badani ada masigi lanpham lom changchali se masi kai gno haibda makoi ki commander aduna khantha haudabadigi lan command order talkiba, land order talkiba, because of the tallest command the British soldier had to take on the well-equipped and well-Russian cavalry. Cavalry haibagi artadi khongmi lanmi. Russia gi khongmi lanmi yamna khulai matik chana pairaba lanban saraga leiraba Russia gi lanban adu thugai na bagi damakta makoi gi British ki commander aduna makoi gi lanmi sing aduda command tormi order tautarami kari haina adigi Russia gi lanmi sing asi lanban asi thugai so attack tawru so haina. Because of that thoughtless command, the British soldiers, they were disciplined, they were brave, they were courageous. So they attacked the well-equipped and well-set Russian cavalry. Russia gi kulai matik chana pairaba kulai lanban saraga leiba mafam aduda makoi gi mathauna adu puthoga attack torami. Makoi mi mayama masirami madu sigani khang na makoina lanpam aduda changchalami thauna phana aduna like come to the point have a leak madu changchan badubuni the charge of the light brigade as the attack of the light brigade na Russia gi cavalry haibagi khongmi lanmi lanban saraga leiba mapam aduda landa chanbani ana makoi changchali have a leak mile amamakai chenchali numai pak tharaga lanpham aduda onward manglom the changchali all in the valley of death, all means that 600 British soldiers British ki lanmi chatruk asina makoina lanpham aduda changchali lantasali into the valley of death haibagi atadi shibagi tampak haibadi it is a valley of death. The battlefield is compared with the valley of death because many soldiers were killed in the battlefield. Many soldiers means whose soldiers, that is the British ki lanmi sing adu lanmi mayamama mapam aduda changu budu shire. Whoever entering the battlefield, they die. They meet their mortal fate. Changu mapam aduda lanpam aduda changu mapam se ta siba asokpa kongai asibana kongai mayama aduda makoina kabina kari hari battlefield hadi lanpam adubu valley of death ka changdamnari rode the 600 lanmi chatruk British ki lanmi chatruk. It is a company of soldiers. Lanmi chatruk se manglom da chenchali manglom da masai kulai matik chana lanban chana leiraba Russia gi cavalry do madu tamna British ki lanmi sing aduna manglom da chenchali aduga attack tawchali landa sali makoi di kulai matik chade makoi di Russia gi lanmi sing aduga changdam na bada yam namak asonba kulai matik chana paidaba adigi masing yamjadaba adigi masing da ju Russia gi lanmin henba kulai ju Russia gi lanmin henba lanban saraga leirba Russia gi lanban adu thugai na bagi damakta changsili. Forward the light brigade haisina. This is a command given by the commander British ki lanmi ki commander aduna light brigade ki lanmi sing aduda manglom da changchulu lanmi sa light brigade ki lanmi sa go forward and attack the Russian cavalry. Charge for the guns hadi numai paiba Russia gi lanmi sing adubu attack to. He said he is the commander of British Light Brigade. The commander of the British Light Brigade thoughtlessly or mistakenly given the task hadi makoigi mathau ama pisali kanana sagi commander aduna British ki lanmi sing aduna mathau umpi kari mathau habdi adagi Russia gi lanban sana leba kulai matik chana pairaba lanmi sing adida landau aduga numai paiba sing du attack to hana order to bani command to bani. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Into the valley of death. Here into the valley of death, as I said, the battlefield was compared with the valley of death. Valley of death because whoever entering the battlefield, they meet their mortal fate. Makoi sirami, changu bidu sirami, asok panangami, kanana kapsalaiba, Russia gi land missing aduna kulai matik chana pairabanina, makoina kapsalak panumais na pa na siba yawi, asok pumaya yaure. Aduna land pam adubu kabina valley of death. Valley of death. Makoi sigani kang na masida changurobadi land pam masida changurobadi aikoi asok opan nangani asiba thawai mangani hadi kang na makoi they knew that they will meet their mortal fate. Even then they enter into the valley of death and sacrifice their life. Here in the second stanza, forward the Light Brigade, it is the command given by the commander of the British Light Brigade. He commanded his soldiers to attack the well-set and well-equipped Russian cavalry. Forward the Light Brigade. Was there any man dismayed? Here again, he asked a question whether there was any man who is afraid of entering into the battlefield. Kanagumba lan pamasida changbada akiba mi yauribra haina commander duna hangni commander duna hangi hadaida sida kai haino sida not though the soldier knew someone had blundered haibagi atadi kanamata akiba yaude they were not afraid of entering into the battlefield even if they knew that someone had committed mistake. Blunder means mistake. And the command given to them was a thoughtless mistake committed by the commander of the British Light Brigade. And asoiba amadigi commander aduna makoida thauda adu pikibani adu soire have a khangna makoi akiba amata leitana lanpham aduda changchalli lanpham adu chenchalli into the valley of death and they sacrificed their life. Khangna sigani khangna chongshli. They were very brave, they were courageous, and they were valor. Someone had blunder means who is someone? Someone is the commander of the British Light Brigade. Light Brigade is commander ni. Someone has it. Dares not to make reply, dares not to reason why, dares but to do and die. From here to here. Here, this three line is the obligation of the British Light Brigade soldier. Obligation means the duty, their duty. They are showing their discipline and they are showing their disciplinary to the commander. They are not to make reply. They are not to make reply means here whenever the commander commanded them to enter into the battlefield and asked them whether there was any man who is afraid of entering into the battlefield, they did not reply. They did not reply anything. Makoi na karimta pakumpide. Makoi gi mathaudi kaino haibada. Makoi gi commander aduna pira iba yathang adubu makoi na pangthokpa. Adu makoi gi mathau orami. Makoi mathaudi not to ask any questions and not to reason why they were sent into the battlefield, but their duty was to perform their duty and enter into the battlefield and sacrifice their life. Thauna pana makoi gi lan phama du chongsilaga makoi gi mathwai thadoklami madubu makoi gi mathoni adubudi kai hai obligation. Yeah, theirs not to make reply. They did not reply anything whenever they were given command by the commander, and they did not reason why they were sent to the battlefield. But theirs to do and die, and their duty was not to ask questions, not to reason why, but to sacrifice their life by entering into the battlefield, which is termed as the Valley of Death. Into the Valley of Death rode the 600. Aduna dumaina segi Valley of Death aduda makoina chongchali 600 soldiers lanmi chatruk. In the third stanza here lanmi chatruk aduna lanpham aduda sigani khang na battlefield ado Valley of Death ni. Adun sigani khang na chongchali. Cannons to the right of them, cannons to the left of them, cannons in front of them. Cannons means big guns and artillery. artillery. Artillery is big guns, and the bullets are very big. Cannons means big guns or artillery. To the right of them, makogi yet lom the su numi acho acho killi. Cannons to the left of them, oirom the su numi acho killaga leimni lanban sarga Russia gi lan missing aduna aduga. Cannons in front of them, manglom the su makoi na changjal lebigi mamang ado mada su makoi gi Russia gi lan missing na numi acho acho kin hek nga kapa yana ba ready the lake. Volley and thunderstorm at which shot and style. Volley and thunder. Volley haibagi artadi. Volley and thunder. Volley haibagi artadi. Nungmi achobusu nungmi machasu. Big guns and shotguns. Big guns and small guns were shot simultaneously at the same time. Matam amatada nungmi achoba macha yetlom dagi orom dagi manglom dagi. Chap mana kapsilak padu. Adubu kari kawe says the volley and thunder. Thunder had the nong tang gum na kapsalay matam amatada. Storm at which shot and style. Storm habagi artadi nong lay nuksini. But here it means the British soldiers were stormed at by the Russian gunners. Russia gi nong may pai ba sing na nong lay nuksit kum na kapsalay nong may mayamato with shot and shell. Shot haibagi artadi nong may matsaka pagi makol. Shell haibagi artadi nong may achoba artillery in kapsalak padu shelling kawi. Shot haibana nong may matsa kapsalak nong may matsasu achoba su pulap puna matam amata the kapsalay adigi Russia gi land missing aduna British ki land missing aduna British ki light brigade soldiers land pam aduna. Boldly they rode makoi thona phana sigani khang basu lan phama se koi ga pana bada matik cha de khang basu makoi thona phana lan phama du changchali well yamna thona phana into the jaws of death asibi khaya ta chongchali thona phana asibi khaya ta chongchali into the belly of death, into the jaws means khayat heavenly, into the jaws of death. They boldly jump into the jaws of death and sacrifice their life into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell. Hell heavenly kaino norok heavenly mana says the battlefield is compared with the hell, because hell is a place where there is full of darkness, fearful, deadly. And so here the battlefield is compared with the hell. Hell haibasi norok ki mafam haibasi yamna akiningai ki masak oraba adi amam mana thanba misi mina thanba mafam aduda makoina sigani khangkhana adum chensilaga makoi mathwai thadoi British ki light brigade soldiers sing adu makoi gi mathauna adu utpani sila makoi valor rode the 600 rode haibari riding the 1000 ba sagon 1000 ba 600 and 600 light brigade soldiers. So they enter into the battlefield, which is deadly, even if they knew that they were incomparable, they were weak when compared with the Russian cavalry. This is about the third stanza. Here in the fourth stanza, flash all their saber bare. Saber means a sword, a long sword, in which the army used to carry in fighting, and riding the horse. The British light brigades were riding the horse, carrying the sword. But on the other hand, in the opposite side, the Russian cavalry were well set and well equipped with guns and with artillery. And they were waiting for the British soldiers to enter into the battlefield. As soon as the British soldiers entered into the battlefield, the Russian gunners, they started firing simultaneously at the same time, shot and shell simultaneously from the right, from the left, and in front of them. Big guns were shot at the light brigade soldiers. Yeah, but on the other hand here, the British light brigade soldiers were carrying the swords. And their swords have the tangsang, makogi tangsang adu, nungsagi manganda. They looked so bright. The sword of the British light brigade soldiers were looking very bright in the air. Flash as they turned in the air. Sabering the gunners here. Sabering the gunners using their swords, they attacked the Russians sabring had it tang the tin bunny, tang the tin bunny, tang kana tiliba, no may buy a missing the butang the tilitana yali, Makoi tang sang aduna. They were attacking the British, I mean the Russian soldiers using their saber, using their swords. Charging an army while all the world wondered. They were attacking. The British Light Brigades attacked Russian cavalry using the swords in the air, and when people look at the swords, their swords look so bright in the air. When they turn it in the air and attacking the Russian gunners, and seeing all this bravery attitudes of British Light Brigade soldiers, the whole world is wondering. Prithivigi miyamna angakpa poi makoigi mathauna maringjel adu Prithivigi miyamna uba matamda makoigi mathauna maringjel adugi khallubada yamna angakpa poi makoi sing ase yamna thauna laiba yamna maringjel laiba yamna discipline laiba ni haina khangi aduna makoina angakpa poi. The whole world is wondering, seeing the valor of the British Light Brigade soldiers. Plunged in the battery smoke right through the line they broke. Even if they knew that they will die, if they enter into the battlefield, makoi lanpam adura changrobadi sigani have say kangna makoina chongchili nongmai miyam na capsule pagi maiku marapta adubu battery smoke. Battery have gi atadi nongmai acho buna capsule pa smoke have di maiku lanpam adu nongmai acho buna capsule pa dugi maiku adu ki mar adu makoina chongchili plung means jump, plung into the battery smoke bravely, courageously, and sacrificed their life because they were dutiful, they were disciplined. Even if they were less in number, they knew that they were weaker when compared with the Russian cavalry. Cossack and they were able to break the enemy line. Enemy is the Russian cavalry, Russian army, Russian soldiers. Russia ki lan mi sing du lanbam ado lanban ado khat thugai bangami makoi lansin bangami makoi thang paraga sogon tawjilga mi atene din nongmei kapsel e makoi ni sogon to thang paraga chenjali adu sogon chenjali bu nongmei pala su dum chenjali aduga Russia ki gunner side nongmei pai ba sing du attack tawi Kaidawi, adu makoigi enemy line, makoigi lanban adu kra thugai bangami. Lanban di kana no hade. Cossacks and Russians. Cossack habigi artadi. Cossacks means it belongs to a particular community living in Russia, Ukraine labor. Russia ana Soviet Union or Ukraine the labor adugi lanbi singlup adu Cossack kawi adu Russian gilanbi. Adi koi India su Assam regiment, adi Manipur regiment, kain list mana makoi su Cossack have si makoi army group amani unit amagi maming ni makoi lanbam adu thugai bangami kara reel from the saber stroke have di makoi aso open nange kana no aso open nange se asom na kan jukra aso open nange som na kan di yam sire som na kan have di British ki lan mission yam sire makoi sing du makut tapiao makong tapiao makoi du lambida sorokta nithijana lepangamdre. They were unable to stand because they were injured, they were wounded by the gunners of the Russians. Shatter and sunder, and some of the British Light Brigade soldiers, their body were cut into pieces and they fall down on the ground. Then they rode back, but not the 600. But they were badly mauled, they were badly wounded. There was a high casualty on the side of the British Light Brigade soldiers, and many of them had been killed, many of them had been captured as war prisoners, and therefore they had to retreat from the battlefield. Makoi aso apan na maram aduna makoi lanpham adudagi mamai leiduna handuna chenba tarakri. Hanmuna chelaku tabada makoi lanmi chatruk lakpani makoi han khibadadi lanmi chatruk sudre. Not 600 means lanmi chatruk sudre. They were not when they retreated from the battlefield. It was not 600 soldiers because many of them had been killed in the battlefield. Many of them had been captured and many of them had been wounded. and therefore a few soldiers returned from the battlefield. In the next stanza, cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them. Previously, Hanandi, Mankogi, Yetka, Oiga, Mangada, Russia gi nungmi achoba sing killamani. Hauji di lan phamadu changchalak badagi mukoi question gre matunglom da from the behind matunglom da chu lanmi sing da Russia gi lanmi sing da question ga nongmaina makoi British gi lanmi sing do mayai chabuk ta leire. Adubuni sida cannon means big guns, artillery. To the right of them, yetlom da adigi oirom da to the left of them, and behind them adugu tunglom da chu nongmi achoba kinjale. Makoi sing do chenbam leitre sida da bani. They knew that they will die. Even then, they were disciplined, they were brave, and therefore they obey the command of the commander. Volley and thunder, storm at with shot and shell. Volley and thunder, volley and thunder. Thunder, as I said, it is a nong tang. We call it nong tang in our language. Nong tang na kapsan bugum na volley. Hai bagi artadi. Matam amatada nongmi macha su achobu chu pulap punna matam amatada kapsilak pani makoina lanbam aduna mayai da lera matungda lanbam aduki mayai da British ki lanmi sing adu mayai chabuk to lere yelom ne oirom ne manglom ne tunglom ne nongmaina achobu kinjale. There were big guns in behind, to the left of them, to the right of them, and in behind of them, and they were fired by the Russian gunners simultaneously at the same time. While the horse and hero fell, while horse means the horse in which the British Light Brigade soldiers were sitting on the back of them, and they fell down from the horse because of their wound, because of their injury. They fell down. They fell down from the horses, and they had fought so well. Even if they were weak, makoi sing su yamna sol basu Russia gi lanmi sing go chandan no da yamna sol basu makoi yamna thauna pana lan thengnarami came through the jaws of death adu thauna pana asibagi khayat adu da chong sili aduga back from the mouth of hell, back from the mouth of hell, back from the mouth of hell. Here the explanation here, this came through the jaws of death, came from back from the mouth of hell. It is a very important two lines. This two line is very important. Quite important point is see line and sini mangkoi sing su thona pai. In English tam haga. They were very brave. They were disciplined, even if they knew that they are incomparable with the Russian soldiers. They were well set and well equipped. But the number of the British Light Brigade were less, and so they knew that even if they knew that they will die, even if they knew that they will die if they enter into the battlefield, they courageously enter into the battlefield. That is coming to the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell here, while fighting with the Russian army, Russian soldiers. The British Light Brigade soldiers were badly mauled, means they were badly injured, and many of them had been killed in the battlefield, and many of them had been injured, many of them had been captured as war prisoners, and therefore they had to retreat. And retreating from the battlefield is termed as back from the mouth of hell. Mouth of hell. Hell, as I said, it is a place where there is full of darkness, fearful and deadly. From deadly battlefield, they retreated. That is called come back from the mouth of hell. All that was left to them, all that was left of the 600. How they fought and how they endured, how they were sacrificed in the battlefield were all left to the 600 soldiers, because they were disciplined. They had to obey the command of the commander. That is their duty, that is their obligation. The obligation is that they had to obey the commander, and therefore they sacrificed their life in the battlefield. Here in the last stanza, the poet Alfred Tennyson is asking to the people of the world, When can their glory fade? Glory means victory. Victory di mai pak pa. Mangkoi ki mai pak pa se karama matam da kaw ga ge hai. Mai pak pa se mangkoi lan da mai ti jar basu mangkoi ki mathauna maring jen adudi mai pak pa ga pangkak ni. Mai pak pa gi hele lan ngam budi mangkoi mathauna maring jen utho modo madun hele. Here, when can their glory fade? There means that Light Brigade soldiers. Glory means victory. Fade means forgotten. Here, the poet said that the glory, the valor, the courage of the Light Brigade soldier cannot be forgotten very easily. The glory means the valor will always be remembered forever and ever. And therefore, here in the beginning also I said that Alfred Tennyson wanted to immortalize the valor of Light Brigade soldiers. Here, when we translate this, when we change this interrogative sentence, when can their glory fade? Means, in the assertive form, their glory, their valor will never be forgotten. Makoigi mathauna maringjen adubu tungda horeba miron sing kaw bangamaroi adu makning sing duna lergani. All the wild charge they met. The charge means the attack made by the Light Brigade was compared with wild charge, was termed as wild charge. Wild ati mapamarang kang daba attack ni haina kabina sing thari karigino wild charge haibdi. It was wild. The charge, the attack was wild because the commander had thoughtlessly given the command to the British Light Brigade soldiers, and Light Brigade soldiers, even if they knew that they will die, they will meet their mortal fate, they sacrificed their life in the battlefield. And many of them had been killed, and many of them had been injured, and many of them had been recaptured as a war prisoner. That is why it is termed as the wild charge. All the world wonders, seeing the valor of the Light Brigade soldiers. Light Brigade soldiers singi mathauna maring jina to prithibi gi miyam na ubu matam da makoi sing tu uru matam da angak pa poe. Honor the charge they made. Aduna kabi na kari hai aroi bada makoi gi mathauna maring photoga Russia gi lanmi sing bu attack tori bado ai khoi na ikai kum na bige dabani. We should honor their valor. We should honor their vigor valor. And honor the Light Brigade soldiers, Light Brigade the yauriba lanmi chatruk ado makoigi mathauna maring jin adubu ikoini ikai kunabu utkadabani. Noble 600. Noble means noble. Noble here is it is characterized by the good manner, discipline, high moral quality. Here, noble means high moral quality. Their moral, their discipline were so high, and so the whole of the world should honor them and regard them because they were brave and they were courageous. And even if they knew that they will die, they will meet their mortal fate, they sacrificed their life knowingly. That is why the poet said that we should honor the Light Brigade Noble 600. That's all. Let's have a quick recall of the substance of the poem. The charge of the Light Brigade soldiers. Light Brigades. Here, the commander had mistakenly given the task to the British Light Brigade to attack the Russian cavalry, which were well set and well equipped. But the British Light Brigades were weak. They don't have enough weapons, armor, and so they had to attack the Russian cavalry without big guns, without good armor, good weapons, and so they obeyed the command of the commander and they enter into the battlefield. They knew that the commander had committed mistakes. A blunder means mistake in giving the task of attacking the Russian cavalry. Even if they knew that the commander had committed mistake, they obeyed the order because they were disciplined, they were brave, and they were very courageous, and therefore they obeyed the commander, and so they entered into the battlefield. And the battlefield was termed as the Valley of Death because many of them who were entering into the battlefield, they sacrificed their life, they meet their mortal fate. And so many of them had been killed and many of them had been injured in the battlefield, and therefore they had to retreat from the battlefield. When they retreat from the battlefield, the 600 soldiers were not all. Only a few soldiers returned to the base, to their camp, because many of them had been captured, many of them had been killed in the battlefield. And so the people of the world wonder, seeing the courageous, seeing the valor of the Light Brigade soldiers. And so the point, at last, he said that we should always remember their valor cannot be forgotten very easily. It will be always remembered forever and ever. And at last, he appealed to the people of the world that we should honor the Light Brigade. Noble 600 means they are having high moral quality. Their morals should be honored. That's all.